Today we're going to show you the cheapest roof that you're going to be able to build, and yes, we tried it ourselves. It works. Welcome back to our channel. If this is your first time tuning in, remember to hit that subscribe button. We're currently working on building a tiny home out of cob. We started this project last year and we've documented the whole build. You can find the rest of the episodes of this build in our Cob Home playlist. Enjoy!
We built a reciprocal roof made of cane, and the first step for this roof is to put this waterproof asphalt over the cane. When we started this project, we agreed that we want to build a completely natural house. We had this determination from the beginning, all the way until the roof thing happened. And I remember when people suggest us to use cement or other materials that are not natural, we refused to do that because we wanted to complete our goal.
So this waterproof asphalt material, you can get where you put glue down and then you stick it on, but the kind we got actually melts into the material, which is the caña, with the sun. So it's a nice hot day and it should melt just perfectly. We had this intention that we set from the very beginning, not just building our own house, but doing it with 100% natural materials. I think back to school, and if I got, 95% on a test, I still got an A, and I'm happy with that. But with this house, if 5% was not natural, I started feeling
frustrated.
Bad. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how I started feeling. But we didn't quit this objective at the beginning. We tried to find different ways to continue building everything natural. But it was very difficult with the roof.
After leaving the waterproof membrane in the sun for a couple of hours, it sticks to the roof, and now we use this geotextile fabric and we're gonna cover it over this asphalt, and we'll have to cut it a little bit to make sure it fits perfectly. I see so many areas in life where there's this purist mentality where if you're not going to do something perfect, what's the point in trying? Rather than recognizing the progress, people focus on the area where you come up short. Why can't we focus on the gain? Why can't we focus on the progress? Just to give context, we use cement and paint to do the roof, and those aren't natural materials.
Our third step is optional. We're gonna mix cement and paint our geotextile with this mix.
The mix of cement that we did is almost liquid. It's like a paint. And then we use the paint. We could use a paintbrush, but that takes a long time. So we started using a broom, and it actually worked quite well. It should put a nice layer that will allow us to paint our final product that we're gonna put on to make it all waterproof. It's been a very hot day, a very long couple days, and we're looking forward to finishing this first half of the roof.
Even when we are trying to live outside of the system, there is something innate in every human being that we want to be accepted and we want to fit in. And of course, this could be something that we could feel bad about. But at the end of the day, we want to continue building this house, and we are gonna do that. And it's not as we promise or as we said at the beginning of this project that will be completely natural, but still I'm very proud of what we have done, and I'm not gonna feel any shame.
So we put the fabric down on the roof with the painted side facing down. Now we're gonna use a stapler, which might not seem that strong, but with the wind, it keeps it in place. We tried to do everything completely natural, no plastic, no cement, no any of this stuff, but we had to take a detour. But that doesn't mean that just because we weren't perfect, we're like, okay, now we're just gonna do anything. No, we still have that marker we set for our destination of doing things naturally, and we continue to try to do things as naturally as possible and celebrate ourselves for the job we've done in pretty much doing everything naturally, and recognize that we had to take a detour to get to our destination. Now we do another layer of cement on top of the geotextile fabric and the staples. So we put the staples in, but when you put the cement on top, it secures the fabric so it doesn't move at all.
And to be honest, I never imagined to build a house with my own hands, with you. What we have achieved is already something so crazy for me, because it wasn't in my plans. It was something, an idea that came up.
The last step, we're gonna put waterproof paint on top of the concrete. Paint it right on, and we'll put 2 coats of paint on.
At the beginning we said, let's try to build a house because we have some time to spend in Colombia. The main goal was to do something with our time, and I think that we really learned through this process. Every single day we face with different challenges, and that's for me something very grateful.
Dame la mano. It's been quite a long week. The good news is we finished half of the roof. The bad news is there are holes in the roof. So there are only 2 spots where it's dripping through the roof that we did, but we're gonna have to figure out how to fix it. It's quite frustrating.
Yeah, I think that this is taking forever. I'm tired. No, en serio.
I know. So we've looked for a lot of different ways to cover the hole in the middle of the roof. We wanted to put some sort of glass so we could see through, see the stars, but we haven't figured out where to get the glass. It's been really difficult to locate, so we're gonna move forward putting caña and continuing to cover the hole in the roof the same way we covered the rest of the roof. I think it's important to note, like, we did consider other options after the straw didn't work in order to still maintain this completely natural house. And one of the recommendations people told us is like, oh, do a natural roof, right? With like the moss or the grass growing on top of it. And we looked into that, and it would have been a lot more difficult. The thing is, it wouldn't have been 100% natural. We still would have had to put a plastic down the way we did. We still would have had to put a drain system, which was also made out of plastic, a cloth. There were so many things that, in my mind, it's like, yes, we could have this aesthetic appearance of a 100% natural house, but that would have been inauthentic. Like, I prefer doing something where it's like, yeah, the roof isn't natural.
And recognize that we couldn't do a natural roof.
Yeah, instead of pretending.
Yeah, and we are not experts at this.
Yeah, not at all.
Not at all. We are learning.
Look at any of our episodes.
Today is a beautiful and very special day for us because we are
going to finish the roof.
Yeah, and it had been very difficult, like complicated days for me.
Yeah, we've had a lot of obstacles. This is a new project. We have learned as we've gone along.
A lot of emotions because of all the straw and the work we already have done before. And now
We're feeling really good about the fact that we are going to finish the roof with this new approach. We just have this little section left that we're gonna finish.
send us luck.
Here's to hoping this is the last time we ever have to cover the roof with plastic. We've probably done it 100 times and we are very sick of it.
We're learning through this process a lot. I'm not pretending to do a perfect house. We are going to talk about perfection in another episode maybe, because we hate perfection.
I'm a bit of a perfectionist.
I hate that word. I hate that feeling of not being perfect, and
It's okay to be disappointed. Like, we both were disappointed.
a lot
But that-
frustrated.
But that's not to say like we shame ourselves. I think there's a difference. I know there's a difference between being disappointed, taking a moment, taking all the emotions in, and then moving on, rather than getting down on yourself like, oh, I'm bad, I'm wrong, I should be better, because that's shame, and that's not something that is productive or does us any good. So we finished up the waterproof paint in the red brick color. So we went to the closest city, which was about an hour away. It gave us a nice excuse to take a day to relax in the sun and go swimming. We got some more paint. We had to get a different brand because they didn't have the same one, but they said it was the same color, which is the brick. And so now we're opening it. And that's not the same color.
Shit.
Different. That's red, and this is like an orange rust color.
Oh.
Like a peach. Didn't know what we're gonna do with this, but I guess we'll see what happens.
And even building this new roof, I had this feeling that it was not good enough, because at the beginning it wasn't working so well when we covered the half of the roof. So there were holes in the roof. I woke up one morning and I was crying because I had this feeling that everything I was doing, everything I was putting so much effort wasn't working. It was a really difficult time, but Josiah pushed me to continue, because I was almost trying to quit this. I was like, no, I'm leaving. I don't want to continue. But we persist and we complete the whole roof, and it worked.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's a good feeling. It's the first time since we finished the roof, and it's raining so hard, and it's perfect because the roof is working.
We're completely dry. This sound is just so special for us. We spent so many nights listening to the water, but rather than hitting the roof, it's been going through the roof, and it's been wet on the floor, wet on the walls, wet in our tent, and we're dry.
Well, we're already painting the second layer, and yeah, the paint is not the same color. It's this peachy color. And the first one was red, but I kind of like it. I like the color.
I preferred the red, but honestly it rained yesterday and everything stayed dry, so this is just an extra protective layer, and I'm feeling good because for the first time we don't have plastic on the roof and we're just enjoying the sun, and if it rains, we're fine.
Yes.